Yes, hello family once again. It's been a while, not really a while, but 1 or 2 days, and I haven't showed up into this channel. Alright, so today is on Monday, alright, so I'm making this video on Monday evening, alright, and I just want to recap on what I was touching on previously on my last video, alright. Say that we wanted to see Tedora alters the DXY, alright, Tedora index weakening, and then it's gonna gain strength along the way, alright. And we said when we have Tedora index weakening, we want to see the currencies that are associated with the dollar. That's, for instance, the Euro USD, GBP USD. Want to see them strengthening, alright. And when we say that when we have Tedora index being strong, we want to see the kinds of USD CAD, USD CHF following the direction of Tedora, right? That's because they have Tedora as their base currency, alright? So, and we say from the weekly time frame, alright, our price has not achieved our goal, so we are still with the same perspective, alright? I'm still on the same perspective. Let me make this clear so that we are all in the same direction. Alright, so from the weekly time frame, alright, we have now price did this swing breakout structure, alright, and it has done this as a retracement, alright. So technically we are still bullish on the DXY. It is just a retracement coming to tap our weekly demand zone that we said in the last week, alright. You can see that price did tapped the tip of that weekly demand zone, alright, and it's having some reaction, but ideally we want to see it come more lower. We want to see it tap this demand zone strongly, alright, not just a tip. We want to see it tap it strongly, right? And now from with this weekly demand zone, we can now decide whether to go bullish or it will change direction to continue bearish, alright. But for now, we are still with the direction that it's bullish. That it has not given us any signs of bearishness. Alright. Alright, so from the daily time frame, we saw that how we had this struggle around this level. Alright, this struggle, and we saw the reason why we were having this kind of struggle. That was resulted from this demand zone that led to this internal breakout structure. Alright, but then eventually we saw our price broke the below it, and it has tapped to this breaker block on the daily time frame. This line is our breaker block from the daily time frame, and it's also the tip of the weekly demand zone. Alright, but technically we want to see price come lower, right, into much deeper level of the weekly demand zone. I want me to show you. I want us to see what happened around this level. Something significant happened. You have seen how price tapped, came to our level. That's our discount level of the Fibonacci retracement. Where you can measure from the lower to the highest point. You can see how price tapped 78%. Let's say 78%. So, and price tapped this mitigation block, right? This mitigation block, and it created something we call the CRT, right? The candle range theory. This being our candle range low. Right, candle range low, yes. All right, and we said a candle range is very powerful when it happens in context. All right, so price has come to us tapped our weekly demand zone, and it has helped tapped our daily mitigation block. So what do we expect from that? We expect some reaction to the upside. All right, we expect some reaction from buyers, and that's because price has tapped our buy zone. All right, so that's why we are seeing that we have these buyers being introduced into the market. All right, and price did well to create a candle range theory. And we said when price has taken our candle range low, what we normally do is as that we want to see how this price will come and take our candle range high. So that's our candle range high. So technically that's our target before we do anything else, right? So the candle range high is our target before we do anything else, before we either continue to this weekly demand or we continue to our possible break or structure. All right, so from the 4-hour time frame, now we can see that movement coming in. All right, you can see it, right? You can just see it from your naked eyes how that movement is coming in. All right, so this was our weekly, not our weekly, but yes, our weekly demand zone, and this line is our daily mitigation block, not mitigation but the breaker block. And the price on the 4-hour time frame, it has finally given us what we call a market structure shift. You can see how that candle closed above it massively. All right, yes, today is on Monday, price is low, and that's normal. So from tomorrow we want to see how this price will have that smooth movement to take this candle range high, either tap this supply zone and then continue bearish to our weekly demand zone. But whatever it does, what we want to do is to catch this upward movement up to our supply zone, and then from this point we can see what price will show us for us to go with it to its new direction. All right, so we have seen how price has created that market structure shift on the 4-hour time frame, and this now signifies or tells us that yes, now we are coming to this candle range high. All right, now we are coming to that candle range high, and we can say that price is reacting also from this fair value gap. It leaves us with a bullish fair value gap, a tiny one, and also it did well to leave us with this order block. All right, and you can see how this current candle tapped to the fair value gap, and it's now printing bullish. It's now printing bullish. So technically you want to see it come to this level. I'm saying this is supply zone, and that's because we had this break or structure to the downside. This was a swing break or structure. All right, swing break or structure, and this is the supply zone that led to that break or structure. Right, this is our supply zone. So technically, if price wants to continue bearish, we want to see it come up to this supply zone, then we will continue bearish. Or if it says now we have gathered all the orders, we have gathered all the energy we wanted from this daily breaker block or that weekly demand zone that price tapped at the tip, and say yes, now the orders are enough, let's deliver it to the upside. We want to see it break above this our supply zone. If it does that break above with momentum, then we can say now we have changed direction and we are going all the way to this possible break or structure. All right, but for now we don't know what price wants to do. For now, you just have to take this chunk of the market from this point to this candle range high, and that's enough movement to take for now. All right, so that from this, now what we do is just replicate what we have seen on this DXY dollar index, on Euro USD, GBP USD, and to some point gold. To some time gold wants to do whatever it wants to do, but technically this is what you are supposed to replicate on Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, but now we do on the opposite direction. All right, so we do it like that. That's because they are negatively correlated. All right, I gave this simple example, but that when we are buying Euro USD, what we are typically saying is that we are buying euro while we are selling the USD. All right, and when we are selling Euro USD, what we are just trying to say is that we are selling the euro while we are buying USD. All right, in the forex market, it's a transaction. For you to buy something, someone has to be willing to buy, not to buy but to sell to you. When you are selling, someone has to be willing to buy from you. So it's a buy and sell. All right, so when we are buying euro, what we are typically saying is that we want to see the euro strengthening while the dollar weakens, and when we are selling Euro USD, what you are saying is just we want to see the euro weakening and the dollar strengthening. That's the USD. Alright, that's why they are always quoted in pairs. So in the euro USD, you still have the same price action. Alright, so this was the candle range high. This is the candle range low we are targeting, and we have this market structure shift. Alright, we have this market structure shift. Price has tapped this order block and fair value gap, and it's printing bearish. So we are technically want to see it come all the way to this level, and then maybe from there we can continue bullish or we can continue bearish, but we don't know what price will do. That depends on the orders that are available at this flip demand zone. Alright, but for now we don't know the available orders, so what we need to do is just take this chunk of the market, and then from this demand zone we'll see what price wants to do, and then we'll follow it in that direction. Alright, the same thing also applies to GBP USD. So it just depends on what you want to trade from your side. Though GBP USD is not really ready for that market structure shift, you can see, so it will eventually come. And the next is XAU USD. This guy has been bullish, guys, crazy from this point. We saw this movement from this lower point, but we didn't take it. I was like, what the fuck? And now it has gone like crazy. It has little, let me show you on the daily time frame. So I'm also anticipating to see some reaction. It might necessarily be long-term sell, but I wanna see some reaction of sellers tapping into the market, right? And that's because this was a breakout structure. Price has tapped our supply zone. Alright, this is the supply zone, and from this point we wanna see gold have some bearish reaction, right? Some sellers coming into the market, and that's also because the dollar index is also trying to have that bullish reaction, right? So technically it makes sense when you want to see also gold to have that bearish reaction. So from the forward time frame, you can see how the current candle is printing, right? You can also tell from the kind of energy that the buyers are losing momentum, alright? The energy is dying off. So if we see a market structure shift on 1 hour time frame, that will be a nice one. On gold, I really have learned to trust my 1 hour time frame. 15-minute market structure shift, it may not work really. So 1 hour gives better confirmation. So if we see 1 hour market structure shift, then we can know that sellers are trying to step into the market to push it a little bit lower, at least up to this point, before it does whatever it wants to do. Alright, and for the last three, I want to see USD CAD and USD CHF. Right, from last week also expected it to have the same reaction as the DXY. You can see it fell nicely. Alright, it's also pushing bullish, just like the DXY. Market structure shift, it left a gap. Technically you're supposed to see it tap this gap, fill it before it continues to the upside. Alright, USD CHF, also the same thing, tapped to our demand zone. Alright, also created a candle range theory. So this is our candle range high, this is our candle range low, and notice how this candle range theory is happening at a key level, alright, a key level being bold and should underlined. Key level candle range theory works perfect. Alright, yes, sometimes it may fail, but the chances of it working comes more than when you just spot any candle range entirely. Alright, so it up the key level, a bullish order block or a demand zone that led to this internal breakout structure. Let me name it for simplicity. Internal breakout structure, because it is still to this swing breakout structure. This is a swing breakout structure. We can see it. So this internal breakout structure is the one that decided to this swing breakout structure. Price has tapped it, and it has given us our daily candle theory. We set a better candle posteriori up the key one, and second a posteriori up when it's from the higher time frame. The higher time frame you go, the higher time frame CRT you spot, the higher chances of it working out. So technically price has taken the low, I'm anticipating to take the high, tap or whatever it wants to tap, maybe this applies on, and then from there we'll see the reaction, and then we'll follow what the market will show us. Alright, so that's it from the USD CHF. So just the same thing from 4-hour time frame. Today is on Monday, so the markets have been very slow. You can see the slow movement from price, right? But technically want to see price fill this liquidity void. You see all this liquidity void should be filled, and before we continue either bearish or bullish, right? And the last one that we looked at last week was BTC USDT, and we saw how this price was crazily moving from last week. Alright, I was wondering where did my drawings go. Right, you can see how this price was moving crazily,